So, angling in War Thunder is a well-known and highly recommended mechanic to use while you play with most of the vehicles in this game. Angling allows you to improve your armor and increase the chance for shots coming your way to bounce, reducing or completely negating the damage received. Such strategy is highly effective on tanks like the Tiger or the KV-1 for example. However, not all tanks benefit from angling. For some, it is in fact detrimental to angle the armor, and today we'll be looking at a few of them so that you avoid making this mistake while playing them. The first misconception is to think a tank with flat armor should always be angled. In practice, it does make sense, but depending on the BR or the design of the vehicle itself, you should sometimes keep your armor facing straight at your opponent. A perfect example of such a vehicle would be the Ferdinand. This tank destroyer has a decent frontal armor for its BR, however if you happen to angle for whatever reason, you'd show a major design weakness. This tank has two flat armor cheeks, one on each side, which can be penetrated by low caliber guns. You can experiment it in the test drive by shooting at those specific flat armor plates just like if your opponent was trying to angle. You may not one-shot the vehicle, depending on the ammo that you use, but you'll usually deal enough damage to neutralize it. A few other tanks have the same design weakness, notably the Porsche Tiger or the American M6A1, so in general do not angle these vehicles. The next type of vehicle you should not angle is the one with the Pike nose. Typically this type of armor is found on early Cold War Soviet vehicles like the IS-3 or the Object 268. However, you can also find it on some French tanks as well, like the AMX-50. This armor design was made for you to face your target head-on, and for the most part, you want to keep a 0-degree angle when fighting your targets. Some of the tanks using the Pike nose armor might happen to have some mediocre side and rear armor, so yet another reason not to angle with them. Next up, we have tanks with strong frontal sloped armor but very weak side armor. A few good examples would be the Panther, the STRV-103 or even the Jumbo. These tanks boast about having a frontal armor powerful enough to bounce most enemy shells when facing their opponents head-on. Unfortunately, as soon as you start angling, it would expose a side armor which is pretty thin. You can try this in the test drive against the Panther if you want. If you shoot it at a 0-degree angle with the American 76mm, you'll deal no damage and will bounce over and over again. Now, if the Panther is slightly angled, even the 76mm can shoot its side, and most of the time one-shot it for the armor there is pretty much non-existent. The same problem can be found on the Jumbo. The frontal armor is strong, but the side armor is your weak point, and angling might lead to an immediate death. Lastly, if you play a vehicle with literally no armor whatsoever like an M18, a Puma or any other light tank without good armor layout, I wouldn't bother angling at all. After all, these vehicles are not designed to tank many shots. Only a few light tanks in the game benefit from angling, and still I'm not sure there's even 10 of them in total. If possible, try not to get shot when playing those, or hope for overpenetration. So there you go for this quick guide on the vehicles you should not angle. I hope this will help you play your tanks in a more effective way, or that it will give you a general idea on what to look for when you unlock a new tank and check its armor layout. Don't hesitate to ask if you have questions about angling, and with that said, I'll see you in the next one.